This is Gran Turismo 4 how you remember it. And this is what Gran Turismo 4 actually looks like. What you were looking at was a collection of mods for the original Gran Turismo 4 running on an emulator. Most of these mods aim to improve the visual fidelity and bring them up to higher standards. The most major improvement lies in the texture quality. Two very dedicated modders have taken on the tremendous effort to replace every visible texture in the game with a much better looking one using AI upscaling and some handcrafted improvements. As such, every track now shines with a lot more detail and clarity. Yet, it's not just the tracks who have received an upgrade, but the cars themselves did as well. With Gran Turismo 4's massive list of over 900 cars, as of the making of this video the cars are still being worked on, but most of them have received a complete makeover as well. It is now possible to clearly read small badges on the car and the liveries in general look a lot more crisp. The retextured mod does a phenomenal job at giving the entire game a much better, more modern look. But that's not where the improvements end. I decided to try and improve the game's lighting and colors a bit, since even with the better textures, the overall visual treatment of the game hasn't particularly aged well and feels a bit flat nowadays. Thus I have created a reshade preset which I have labeled Enhanced Vibrance, which aims to breathe more life into the game. Colors are now more pronounced, the sunlight bursts stronger through trees and buildings, and store signs emit a noticeable glow from them. In my opinion, this makes Gran Turismo 4 feel more vibrant and alive. But if you don't like the look, you can adjust the preset yourself to your liking. More instructions on that later in the video. The final mod actually doesn't exactly improve the graphics of the game, but more so the feel while driving. I'm using Silence and Arrow's camera mods to do two things. The former makes the chase cam more loose, instead of the stiff camera Gran Turismo 4 would introduce to the series. This is obviously personal preference, as with everything I have shown so far, but the smoother camera movement makes the game feel less nauseating to me. I also feel like I get more feedback from the car through this camera, making me drive ever so slightly better. Arrow's mod is used in combination to reposition the camera closer to the car and point it more towards the horizon, imitating the chase cam scene in Gran Turismo 3. There are other improvements at play here I will dive into at the end of the video, but this is the gist of what the remastered mod does. At the end of the video I will give a detailed tutorial on how to get started, but for now I'm sure you'd like to see some moment-to-moment gameplay. Enjoy! So here we are, back with Gran Turismo 4, obviously with something new. So this is the remastered mod pack, if you want to be a bit more specific. Because I am sure you guys want to see what it looks like in motion. So let's start a new save file here. Alright, here you go. Back in ye good old Demio. I love these license tests. Wow, how was that not a gold? Are you kidding me? That was so perfect. But yeah, now you can already see the improved camera as well. Like, the chase camera in Gran Turismo 4 is usually super static, and it's like a massive pet peeve I have with the game. And yeah, it just looks a lot better. It's more smooth. You can kind of see the angle of your car and how it's approaching a corner. Yeah, you want to leave most of the stock. Make sure to actually put the video output to progressive 480p. Otherwise your game will look a little bit blurry. And yeah, just leave these as is. Usually, like by default, this is set up to 3 on the brightness setting. Just leave that as is. Wait, where am I going? Can I squeeze through here? Yes, I can. Nice. Oh, that was way too much. Yeah, no. Not like this. Not like this. But there's one thing that I wish gets like an overhaul at some point that I feel like is missing still with all this remaster stuff, and it's the UI, you know, it's very pixelated and not so high quality. The problem with the camera mod is sometimes the cars are so high up, or you know, tall enough that you can't see the road ahead of you. It's kind of the case in this one a little bit. Alright, our first rally track. So I played with the camera mod before, and I can tell you, I'm not sure how and why, but rallying feels so much better with this camera. Like, it feels easier to control. Because you actually kind of get a better understanding of what your car is doing at any given moment. I do have some more comparisons, because those are some nice lights. So on the left, you basically have what the game looks like with the retexture mod and without the reshade that I made. And then this is with my reshade. I think it makes everything look a lot less flat, you know, like the sun is kind of like reflecting off the car a little bit more. Stuff in the background tends to have a little bit more depth than usual. And yeah, it looks a bit more natural in my opinion. Seattle, you know, obviously is like in the sunset, but doesn't really look like sunset, you know, like the color is kind of, you know, kind of off. And yeah, with my reshade, it just actually looks like fucking sunset. Like this actually, it looks like the time of day is actually a lot more accurate here. Again, this is already with the texture mod applied. This already looks a lot better than before, but then I personally think with my reshade setting, it gets a lot better. One more comparison with Grand Canyon, and then I think after that we have the final one. So once again, it looks good already, for sure. But I think, you know, my my preset actually makes everything looks a bit more like a canyon now. And then final one, and this one's a bit controversial. Some of you may not like this one, and that's absolutely valid. You know, a comparison for a night stage. And yeah, it's a lot brighter. That's mainly because, you know, when you do like a reshade plugin, it gets applied everywhere, right? And you may not always want those for certain situations. We'll see some of those. So there are some limitations there, unfortunately. I think it looks fine. Some of you may prefer the old look, and that's perfectly fine. Ooh, the textures of this car look a little bit broken though. Not sure if the modders are aware, but yeah, the window looks a little bit borked on the car. Fantastic. We had literally hundreds of cars we could choose from, and we took the one car that had broken windows. Actually, don't even tell me the odds. That's just ridiculous. Oh, this track looks fucking nice. That one received a massive glow up. Hey, look at that skyline, man. Look, man, this looks so fucking nice, dude. Don't hit it. What is the car doing? Holy shit. What? Car was like, Ree! Ginetta G6. I think it looks cute. I wonder if I can use it for something. Oh yeah, the historic championship, right? Oh, the car looks really good though. That one benefited a lot from the retexture mod. That car in particular is looking really good. No, don't. Oh, don't lose it, man. Ow. New York looks like. I think New York is easily the most noticeable upgrade because of all the billboards and buildings, and like there's so much going on in New York. Like that, in my opinion, is one of the most noticeable upgrades graphically. And to be honest, for me personally, that might be the standard from now on. Like that may just be how I play the game from now on for everything in the future. Alright, El Capitan, I don't think we've been here either. Also looks really damn good. That's another track that I think received a big glow up. Mainly from the lighting though. Like a lot of tracks just kind of have flat lighting and you can't really do much about it. But I feel like this is one of the tracks where the reshade really accentuates the lighting here. Dude, Tahiti. I haven't been here yet. Wow, that looks fucking legit. Like the vegetation, everything looks so damn good. Oh, especially the sunlight, dude. I played quite a bit of GT4 at this point. And I kind of remember vaguely how everything looked. And yeah, it's such a massive improvement. It's crazy, dude. But this is already the point in the game where I'm already approaching things completely differently. Like, I've never used this car. I've never done this championship before. Like, that's what I love about the game, man. Like, I've never done any of this. Yeah, the Capitan looks really good. One of the tracks that benefited the most from the new graphics. I mean, it's usually the tracks that always look good that now look better, you know? I mean, I think someone said it before really well. This basically is what Gran Turismo 4 would have looked like if it was re-released or remastered for the PlayStation 3. Like, you could fool so many people into thinking this is a PlayStation 3 game. It looks more fun than GT7. I mean, I think I'll have more... I mean, I haven't played GT7 yet. But I think I will always find this more fun because the entire GT mode, like the main career mode, is more flexible, you know? You have more choice in what to do next. It's not as linear. Okay, I mean, let's check. Oh yeah, we wanted to check the photo mode, right? Let's see if that looks any different. I don't think so. It would be cool. Does that look better? I just don't know what it looks like usually. That's the problem. I mean, I guess this was always high quality, right? The car model is definitely higher quality. So that's kind of nice for those photos. You get higher quality car models for this mode. But we should be able to do the Umbria Rally. You can grind these over and over for like overpowered prize cars, but I mainly want to do them for the tracks themselves. I want to see what they look like, obviously. So yeah, I think these special condition races and the mission challenges, they should put us into a lot of different events and stages that you don't normally see in the career too often. Oh, this is another track that looks so nice with this mod. Oh, especially look at that, the hills in the background. And that looks nice. Yeah, massive summer holiday vibes with this track. I mean, this was always like a really pretty track, but now it looks amazing. Unfortunately, that track apparently lags a little bit on the emulator. Like, it's not running perfectly, but I still want to know what it looks like. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, that is very nice. Look at all the orange lights. Oh yeah, the slowdown on this map is very unfortunate. But for us, it's kind of nice. It means we can enjoy the track a little bit longer. Oh, how do you think wet races are gonna look like? It looks wet, alright. Although the reflections are pretty much still the same. And it's one aspect that I hope at some point gets an update too, if that's even possible. Like, improving the reflections a little bit could be very nice. Oh yeah. Hey, it's 2022, boys! We can finally drive this car. I wonder if that one got remastered too. I think so. Oh, but yeah, the Grand Canyon looks amazing. Like, it looks so much more... It looks a lot more like a canyon, you know? The sand is a lot more red and everything. But yeah, as I was just saying, with the camera, the rallying is a little bit easier because you kind of get a better understanding of what the car is doing. Like, when I can see a lot from the side of my car, it basically means I'm about to spin out. And I need to do something about it. Like, all those subtle things about the camera make this a little bit more easier to control. One thing you can do, what I've done, you can turn off the vibrance filter. Makes the colors, it makes the game a little bit less colorful. So I guess now it looks a little bit more realistic, if you will. So you can take the colors away a little bit. Like when you actually download and install the mods, you can enable and disable those however you like. I would keep the blooming HDR on. It's kind of what causes some of those issues. But that's kind of what makes the lighting look a little bit more... Well, not as flat, basically. SMAA makes the image more clear. Smart Sharp, same deal. Clarity makes the things in the background a little bit more clear. But if you turn both of these off, it's a little bit more flat. Where are my tropical vibes? I like the way this looks. I heard from a few people, very few, that the game is a little bit too colorful. Which, I mean, understandably. I personally just like my games a little bit more colorful. But I get it, you know, maybe some of you want to go for a little bit more realistic approach. Although I do think, like, in a country like this one, you know, in Tahiti, like, that's what it looks like. It is a very colorful country, you know. I think with this mod, with these mods applied, this game becomes absolutely superb. Like, the camera already is such a big improvement. I know graphics aren't everything, of course, but I feel like this is one of those cases where the graphics really add more enjoyment to the game. And into the ditch you go! Nice. But hey, we haven't seen this track in its entirety either, so that's also something new for the mod at least. That track also got a nice visual upgrade, that's for sure. Yeah, if the game would be re-released looking like this for PS4, I think a lot of people would be very happy. Minus the kind of weird looking menus, of course. It's kind of a side effect with how you accomplish this look. But yeah, like if they would bring this out again and call it remastered, I don't think many people would be upset. I think a lot of them would be very happy. Like even with the mods, I feel like the mod actually adds more visual variety too. Like this one looks completely different to all those European tracks. I mean, the tracks always looked different before, but I feel like now they actually give you a completely different feeling, you know? Like, they feel more distinct. So I think moving forward, whenever I do anything in Gran Turismo 4 from now on, I would probably use this as the baseline. It's kind of hard to imagine going back to the base game after this. For me, it's always like, when I make content, I always want to provide the best looking game possible, right? And so when we do challenges and other content on Gran Turismo 4 in the future, I think I'll always use this as the baseline, you know, so we'll always play on this copy with all the great textures, great lighting. I'll keep updating this as well if I can. So yeah, look forward to seeing this a lot more often. Definitely won't be the last time. If you've watched this far, I'm sure you'd like to know how to install this collection of mods and play GT4 the way I do. First of all, if you haven't already, make sure to install the latest version of PCSX2. You will need at least version 1.7 for this to work, as well as the BIOS and the game itself. First of all, you want to find the link to the retexture mod in the description below and download the latest version available. It's a pretty big file, so it might take a while if you have slow internet. Meanwhile, you want to go into PCSX2 and make it create a texture dump. For that, you want to go to Config, Graphics Settings, then Advanced, and tick Dump Textures. Now load up Gran Turismo 4 and it should create a new folder under Textures in your PCSX2 root folder. Open it and in there you will find a dump and a replacements folder. If one doesn't exist, simply create it and load up Gran Turismo 4 again. Once your download is finished, open up the RAW archive and drag all the textures into the replacements folder. If all the textures have been successfully extracted, go back to the Advanced tab of your graphics settings, untick Dump Textures and tick Load Textures below. Reload Gran Turismo 4 one more time and if everything worked correctly, you should now be able to see much higher quality textures. Next up, we want to hook Reshade onto PCSX2. Find the download link to the most recent version of the program in the description below. In order for it to work, you must use either OpenGL or Vulkan as your hardware renderer. Download my Reshade preset as well from the link in the description and put it somewhere on your PC. Now go through the installation process of Reshade. When it asks you to select a game, simply select the exe of PCSX2. When it asks to select an API, select OpenGL or Vulkan depending on which one you use for the emulator. When prompted to select a preset, navigate to the enhanced vibrance.ini you have downloaded as well. Then select the repository seen on screen right now. Now simply press OK and you have successfully injected Reshade into PCSX2. Once you load up Gran Turismo 4, press the home button or position 1 button or whatever button you have in this position on the keyboard to bring up the Reshade menu and select the following effects. In the menu you can play around with the effects at your leisure. For example, you can untick the vibrance filter to tone down the colors in order to achieve a more natural look. Last but not least, you want to download both camera adjustments from the description below. Both of them act as cheat files which you simply want to drop into the cheats folder where PCSX2 is located. Make sure you have cheats enabled on the emulator itself or they won't work. I will also leave Silent's Gran Turismo 4 page in the description below, which comes with many more improvements that I didn't mention in the video yet, but might be of interest to you. Here are also my PCSX2 settings if you'd like to copy them. One final note, make sure to set the clamping mode in your general settings to normal when you want to do license tests, as they crash the emulator if set on full. For the rest of the game, you want to keep them on full to prevent visual glitches with the HUD. But that's about all you need to know for the remastered mod of Gran Turismo 4. I would like to give a big thanks to everyone who has been working on any of the mods shown here. The work on display here is simply fantastic and helps keep this amazing game alive. And as per usual, a special shout out to my patrons as well for supporting me with my content. If you're interested in bonus content and early access to videos, you can find my page in the description. As already stated in the video, this will be my new platform to make Gran Turismo 4 videos on, and I have a lot planned for the future. So if you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button in order not to miss it. Thank you all for watching my videos, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.